my gosh. Hello, hello. Come in, come in. I am Eve with the baby's booty, and we are an hour behind. I Last week I mentioned that I would probably be on vacation this week, and I was. But we actually came back a little bit early, a lot of bit early. We came back early and I may go back up there later this week, but for right now we're back home. And I didn't realize there was going to be a rally in a town on the way back through, so I was late getting back, and I would have been on time, but there was a rally in one specific city and it was like traffic bumper to bumper and it was retarded. So I am here now and um, super excited to come and say hi. Um, it has been an excellent weekend getaway, and I had a great time. It was my grandbabies came too, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're getting bigger. They're 3 and 5, and can talk, y'all. Oh my god, I forgot how kids can talk. So and that's all I'm gonna say about that. I hope you guys have been doing okay as well in your neck of the woods. Not sure what you guys have going on in your studios, but go ahead and yell if you are a YouTube Hoop Group member and ring your purple bell here on your chat so that we can let folks know who all are members here in the group. Also, what I decided, since I'm not going to be on very long, we gained an hour. It's 10:03, feels like 11:12, actually more like that to me because I drove. Um, so I know folks is tired. I'm not gonna hold you guys super long, but about an hour. But I did want to mention, I get a lot of questions about embroidery designs, especially for new folks, and where to get good embroidery designs. And there's a couple of options. I often speak of embroiderylibrary.com, but I wanted to also point out that Creative Fabrica, where normally I would shoot you guys over to Creative Fabrica for sublimation images, for fonts for sublimation or vinyl, stuff like that. But they also have an embroidery category as well. And it's earlier when I was referring you guys to it, it was kind of small, but it's grown pretty big, actually pretty big now. And they have the cutest little snowman patch. It's a patch about yay big. It'll fit on a 4x4 machine, and I thought it would be a really cute design to purchase for folks to try out a patch. Now, those of you who are hoop group captains, you don't have to worry about it. You have a patch that's going to be on the way to you. But everyone else, the patch is totally awesome. It's super cute. It's a snowman, perfect for this time of year. They also have another one which is like a nature scene. It's really pretty too, like a nighttime nature scene if I'm remembering correctly. I'm gonna go ahead and link you guys to the snowman one in the description below, because what I'm hoping is to present a challenge to the hoop group captains and see if they could post pictures of their snowman um, patches whenever those are stitched out. So at any rate, the sewing Brett, I did put a link right here in the chat, creativefabrica.com, and that's a direct link. It is an affiliate link as well. But if you just look at the link and it says Creative Fabrica, if you're not interested in clicking an affiliate link, you can just type in Creative Fabrica, and there's a heading up at the top that says embroidery, and you can check that out and look at the embroidery designs that they have. And the patches are a special deal right now, so definitely check that out. If it weren't for you guys being here, because the channel is here because of you all, I want to say hello to those who are here. Miss Bickham is here. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. I appreciate it. Inspiration Creations, Lori from Canada. Hey, how are you? Shamira, how are you? Scooby Doo, I hope you feel better. Joanna Smith, hello. Isabel Morgan, hello. Miss Leela Nelson, thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. Miss Andrea Ross, hope you don't mind. I was going to ask you about posting your picture And I wanted to thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member, Miss Andrea Ross, if you don't mind. I thought it was gorgeous. Miss Pat Ash, welcome. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member as well. Marianne Reddick, hello, how are you? PJ Coppage, hey PJ Coppage, hey Sheila Cushionberry. I am on briefly tonight. Miss D Purple One, hello, how are you? Welcome from Chicago. Holler. Miss Diana, is that correct? Pretty, thank you. Tanyu, hello, how are you? Welcome, and thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. Laverne Miller, hello. Eve Mar, thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. Elaine Dickerson, hello, how are you? Welcome. Sierra Martin, welcome. Gorgeous Rose, love it. Nora 22,000, hello to both of you. Welcome. Rosemary Rowan and Miss Marianne Reddick, how are you doing today? It's always a pleasure to have you in here. Leslie Turner, hello. Walk by Faith, hello. The Sewing Brat, we are talking about embroidery designs. Hopefully you guys can check those guys out. Creative Fabrica is awesome. I was wondering if you came back for an order. But okay, not me. Okay, American Eagle Embroidery and Graphics. Hello, how are you, my dear? Welcome. Thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. Dab Prince, hello, welcome. Colette Christopher, welcome. And thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. She says, my granddaughter lost a tooth. She's 5. Oh no. Well, tell your granddaughter, be careful with those teeth. They will grow back and you're just as beautiful as you were with the tooth without it. And be sure to let us know when the next one comes out. And there's even little sewing thingies that your grandma can do for you with that tooth. So check that out, grandma. Some in the hoop projects that are really cool out there. Patrina Gosha, hello from Birmingham. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Eartha Lewis, hello. Welcome always. Let's see, who do we have here? Contessa Harris, welcome. Thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. I definitely appreciate it. Let's see. Oh my goodness, it's lots of folks. Carmen Alvarado says, thanks for sharing JJ Digitizing. I used them last week for a patch. They were very quick getting it done at a reasonable price. That's awesome to hear, Carmen. Thank you for letting me know that. I know I don't think I've been super disappointed with them. There's been a couple of things we've had to adjust, but for the most part, they're very good, JJ Digitizing. Allison Halloway, how are you? Welcome. Angelia Baker. So those of you in the YouTube Hoop group, which you are the monthly membership here on YouTube, if you would like a bell, the bells have been sent out, the last batch. There's another batch that's being put together. So if you would like a bell, please email me at thebabiesbooty@gmail. Please email thebabiesbooty@gmail. Your name, your address, and your YouTube username, your YouTube screen name that I call out here on the thing so I know who you are and see you in the membership list. Because this email address is the one that I have an assistant that kicks out the bells and we can get those bells out on time. If you're sending it to any other email address, it's not monitored as frequently, so I won't get your message right away. So please email me at thebabiesbooty@gmail.com and put in your subject, please send a bell, and I'll get one right out to you. Miss 143, hello, welcome, and thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. Kelly Sherrod, hello, how are you? Welcome, welcome. I can post it. Cool, y'all. Suzanne Go Grand Go from the Space Coast. Always a pleasure, my dear. I hope you're doing well. Welcome. Estride St. Ledger, hello, how are you? Hi, Debbie D. How are you? Welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening. Patricia Garza, hello. Jane Kirk, hello. Knick-knack Nurse, hey, how are you? Welcome. Just want to know, are you going to do another class? Patricia, I am. So the beginners Sew It Pro class, I will go ahead and post a link to that in the Hoop group. And what is today? Today is the 1st. I am actually looking at doing that one on what day did we I'm trying to make sure of my own class for something else is scheduled for this week. So I'm going to check that schedule. It'll be this coming weekend. We'll do another Sew It Pro class, the beginners. But after that, you guys be on the lookout for the part 2. We're doing Sew It Pro ninja style. We're going to be ninja masters because we're going to be cutting up designs, slicing them. Ninja stars. That was the name I came up with. We're going to be ninja stars. So, so we're going to be cutting up and slicing designs and putting designs exactly the way you want them, showing you how you can split them in the repositional hoop, or even if you're not using a repositional hoop, how you can get those cut up, split up, design parts deleted, remove, arcing, lettering, putting in letters and hacking and slashing those as well. Once you join letters, if you bring it back in, how do you break that apart again? We're going to be slashing up all kind of stuff. So Ninja Stars is the next title of our Sew It Pro class, and that's going to be coming up in November. So I'll let you know exactly what those dates are in the Facebook group as well as online. So this coming weekend, though, we'll be doing the next one more beginner class, one more. So if you missed this one, I don't know what to tell you. So don't miss this one. This is the last one. Nora, if you, whichever class it was that you were in, I sent out the links to everyone for the classes. I have no issues resending. Just shoot me an email to thebabiesbooty@gmail.com with your email address that you registered for the class, and I'll re-forward the email to you for the class that you were registered in. And then that way you can see it without any issues whatsoever. But all of those emails did go out. And if you were registered for a class, your file went out too. So it would be good to go ahead and resend that link so that you can have access to those, because it could be in your junk mail, but it was sent out. Let us see. Yes, either was directed to you, and if you had come back early due to an order, as you have. Oh, no, ma'am, no one for no order. Ooh, no, I learned my lesson. So I'll jump into that because it is something pretty interesting that for those of us who are utilizing embroidery, and you guys, real quick before it happens, and I not get to tell you or anything, the wind here is crazy. So I'm hoping no branches or anything hit because we had a lot of big trees. And I'm hoping, because we've been losing a lot of branches too. And whenever the hurricane thing came through last week, um, the power blinked out, but it didn't stay out. Whereas in Charlotte, um, where a couple of friends of mine have big trees too. Their power was out. My parents' power was out. So fortunately, we haven't had an extended power outage here, but the wind is just so crazy today. We actually went fishing today, and I know I'm going off into a whole different subject, but I'm getting to a point. We were fishing, and out there on the water, the wind was actually pushing me. It was blowing that hard, and my hair was like all over my head. We caught fish though. We got 3 fish and we cooked them and ate them, and it was excellent. But the wind is bad. So I'm hearing it hitting the branches and stuff, hit the house, and leaves blowing and stuff. So I hope I don't lose power. But if I do, I probably won't be back because I'm tired. But just to let you guys know, hopefully it won't, because I really don't want to lose power, but just in case. So at any rate, as a business owner, going into sewing embroidery for a business, or even if you're doing sublimation for a business, if you're doing bling for a business, doesn't matter. One of the things that Ms. Bickham mentions here in the chat, and again, we have so many business owners here as a part of the Hoop group. Please feel free to weigh in on your experiences, how you've handled things as well. But just as a FYI, and to tell you how things I had to come to handle, learn from my mistakes. That's one of the things I choose to direct to you guys here in the Hoop group. A lot of what I'm teaching comes from experience. Sometimes the experience wasn't the better experience. So I wanted you to learn from that so that you don't make the same mistake. I would go on vacation and quite frequently have customers call saying, we need this order, we want that order. And I have to come back from vacation, break in the middle of my vacation, do an order really quick for a customer, get it out to them supposedly, and then go right back up. And I've done that quite a bit, as Ms. Bickham was pointing out, because I've done that. And I had to learn the hard way that business is here, family and time away is here. And the customers, inevitably, what would end up happening is I would come back, I would rush and break all kind of records getting those orders out, only to the customer to realize they didn't need it as quickly as they thought they did for whatever reason. All right. So saying that to say, be transparent with your customers. If you're on vacation, let them know. A lot of times they're considerate and they will understand that, especially if you're able to let them know ahead of time. This week, this specific week, because I have a timeshare, is known. Like, I own the timeshare, so it's not like a surprise that this comes up. We've been going here for over 10 years. I've owned it for 6 years. So it's not like a surprise that we're going on vacation. Let your customers know, hey, I'm going to be on vacation from this date to this date. It's 7 days. You will be all right for 7 days. We really need our time away. So for those of you who have owned businesses in the past, what is the best way you have found to inform your customers that you're going on vacation so that they'll know? And how do you prepare your orders to ensure that everything's cool so that when you leave out the door, the business stays here while you're up there? How do you handle customer calls while you're up there? I would like for you guys to weigh in on that. But fortunately, I haven't gotten any calls this weekend, and I worked really hard last week to get the majority of the orders that I knew couldn't wait, get them out and out the door, mailed out, or yeah, mailed out, because no one came to pick anything up. I don't have customers coming to pick up orders anymore, so that's really cool. But no, this year I did not come back because of um, having any orders. We came back because my daughter has a doctor's appointment tomorrow. Actually, that's the main reason we came back. But there's a possibility I'll get to go back up there. Okay, so Heather from Queensland, Australia, welcome. I'm glad you are staying safe inside. It is getting cold here. Is the Hoop group for all levels of learning? Yes, the sewing bread. It definitely is. We work with experienced folks. As I mentioned, we have business owners that have been doing embroidery for years in here. We also have very extreme beginners who have never owned an embroidery machine before or are interested in getting one. We have videos on our channel for everyone. And in our Hoop group, just about anyone can answer questions. Please, you guys, uh, even though for the most part we don't have any issues with it, but if you have questions, it is perfectly okay for other group members to answer the questions, especially if they have experience in that and they answer. If I have an alternate experience, I will voice that and let you know what that is. But what I've learned um, through the years that have nothing to do with embroidery or sewing, but I learned from the older generation, and my grandmother used to tell me, listen to everything people say. Even if you don't like what they have to say, there could be something in there that you can learn from. And even if you don't agree with what they say, listen anyway. It doesn't hurt anything. And what a lot of times you'll find out is you either find out what type of person that is or you'll learn something new. So I will listen to what others' suggestions are. and take from it what I feel I definitely need and learn from it. I either learn what not to do because their advice was incorrect, or I'll learn what to do because what they have to say worked and it worked really well. So don't be offended if someone else in the Who group answers your question, please. So I've noticed that a couple of times and I want to make sure, I don't feel like I'm the only person that can answer embroidery questions. I'm not the only person who's been doing embroidery, and there are many in here who have been doing embroidery for a lot longer than I have. So this is an awesome group, and we work together um, to ensure that everyone has what? The point of the group is that everyone has happy embroidering, because no one wants to embroider and be frustrated. So whether you're doing embroidery, sublimation, rhinestones, the whole nine, we want to help you avoid frustration. So if you're dealing with something and you're frustrated, just put a message out there, give it some time so that people can, we're not online all the time, answer your question when we can, and help you work through whatever problem you're dealing with. So Miss Pickham says, let us see those karate moves. We gonna see. We gonna see if we can't get them going. Miss Ethel Smith, hello, welcome, and thank you so very much for being a YouTube Who group member. Trisha, hello, how are you? Nice to see you as well. Thank you for joining us this evening from Southern California. So on, hello, how are you? Yas, welcome. Hope Watson, welcome neighbor. How are you? Thank you for joining us this evening. Shirley Stewart, no, I wasn't sure. Wasn't sure about coming on tonight. But at the last of the minutes on our decision to come back home after packing and rushing to pack to make sure I could get out of the house out of the cabin on time. I thought I was gonna be here on time by 9 o'clock to be live, but we got tied up in rally traffic, so I was late, unfortunately. So that's why we're on an hour later than normal. Dixie Champagne, hello, how are you? Welcome. Thank you for joining us. And we do get our bling on from time to time here. Um, so you're welcome, Nora 22,000. She says she's a few hours southeast and it's crazy windy there too. I don't know what's going on with the wind. I haven't even looked at the weather to know. PJ Coppett says that thing tore my yard up. We went 46 hours without power. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's tragic. I couldn't, well, I'm not gonna say I couldn't do it because I'm like one of those disaster prepper type people. So I just need a generator so that I can run my embroidery machines. Because I'll be stir crazy if I can't work on something. I'll find something to do. The wind here in Maryland is crazy tonight. Power went out 30 minutes ago. Oh no, be careful. Please be careful. Hope you got some good batteries and don't use up all your juice watching video. How well does Sew What Pro work on a Mac computer? Any good information on this, Miss 143? What I am going to tell you is Sew What Pro works great on a Mac computer if you have a Windows emulator. Unfortunately, Sew What Pro is a Windows-based program. Now, I do know several folks who use it on a Windows emulator and they use it just fine. But there are those who just choose not to run an emulator, and so they don't use Solar Pro. There are other programs out there that are a little more pricey, but Solar Pro is not a Mac OS. I think it's iOS based program. It's Windows. Will we be able to purchase the playback of the beginning Solar Pro classes? Walk by Faith. What's going to happen is instead of purchasing the playback, we're looking at actually doing tutorials, pre-recorded tutorials that folks can jump in on, not the ones where folks were live with me. But I'll make the final determination on that within the next by the end of the year. Actually, unfortunately, it's going to be a minute before I make that decision, because I prefer it to be more of a learning environment instead of me offering classes of folks that were in there with me and I don't have their permission to offer classes where their images are there, their video is there. If you get where I'm coming from with that. So we'll do a pre-recorded video at some point and then put that out. And then our Ninja Stars class, once I get that going and get the vibe for that and get everything laid out, then we'll do that edition and so on and so forth. The whole point in the classes was to build the tutorials, the video tutorials that people can actually invest in and learn to master SewWeb Pro. Dolly Lewis, welcome joining us live. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for joining us. You unboxed my brother, PRS 100 Persona. So excited. Congratulations, y'all. I'm going to have to ring the bell a little quieter tonight because my daughter is asleep. But congratulations, Dolly Lewis, on your new persona. Holler! Y'all! Hopefully I didn't wake her up. I made sure I shut the door so that I wouldn't wake her up. Uh-oh, and I'm gonna have to ring it again. So she gonna be sad. But congratulations. Thank you for joining us live as well so that we can ring the bell for you. I appreciate it. Nora says she bought a new solar generator yesterday. Continuous power to the refrigerator for any outage. That's what's up. I need to look into that and figure out how that works so that I can work on a decent generator. I did tell my husband about solar. I'm not a fan of the gas, but if I'm gonna have to get what I have to get so that we can have power to the refrigerator for my medication as well. Eve Mar got her baby lock flourish too. Congratulations! Y'all! Congratulations, Eve Mar. That's totally awesome. A baby lock flourish too. Y'all, that's what's up. Congratulations on y'all's new babies. Please be sure to post pictures of the projects that you're working on. Rules and regulations are in the group, and that's on Facebook, and you can find it under either the Baby's Booty or the Hoop group. It's listed either way, so definitely check us out. Dixie Champagnes, as I found y'all a couple of hours ago. The Naga is peeling off my phone person's hide. Oh no, I don't understand. But let me know what's going on. Hi Marge Campbell, how are you? Welcome. Thank you for joining us. PJ Coppage, sounds like me. Share more information on that solar generator. Pearl Lucas. Hey Pearl Lucas, how are you? Liliana Ortiz, hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Ms. Bickham. I am fine. I appreciate you being here. Leila Nelson, she says, I post dates to let them know I'm on vacation, work like crazy to finish everything before I go. I know, and I tried that the last few years and just wouldn't ever be able to get it done. But we did this year. I wasn't playing that game. Liliana Ortiz, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Nora says it's the Jackery Portable Power Station Explorer 1002 WH solar generator. I'll let you know how it works out because it's also going to be my embroidery backup. That's what's up. I'm going to hang tight to that information my own self. Let's see. I just moved off of that. Okay. Enjoy your time off, girlfriend. Sugar Ray says. We all need it. Haley Storm, I've been watching your tension issue videos. I keep having the bobbin thread be the majority of the thread on the right side, and it's most minimal on the tension setting 0. What am I doing wrong? So, Haley, what I would definitely check is a few things. Now, you didn't mention which embroidery machine you have, but make sure of these few basics before fooling with your tension too much. And actually, let's start this off a different way. Have you always had those tension problems with your bobbin? That's your first question. Because if you haven't ever had those problems before, and now all of a sudden out the blue, the problems are there, then we'll start moving into step 2. But if you've always had these tension problems and you've never been able to embroider without it, especially if you're new, then the first step I'll do in that instance would be check how your thread is threaded at the top. try a different spool of thread. Okay, so even though you're seeing the bobbin thread, we're going to start up at the top. Change your spool of thread. Find a different spool of embroidery thread. Make sure that you're following every single guide there is on that embroidery machine. A lot of times people aren't paying attention to how to thread it and they're missing parts. So make sure everything is threaded. Make sure you go through every part. And make sure your needle is threaded front to back. But before you thread your needle, make sure that your presser foot is up before you thread the machine. All right, so presser foot up, new spool of thread, thread the machine with the presser foot up. Make sure you have a new needle. So you've been using another needle or you just got your machine, just put a new needle in and make sure that the needle is facing forward properly. All right, there are pictures to show you how to put the needle in your machine. Thread the needle front to back. All right, then after you do that, what kind of bobbin do you have? Do you have a pre-wound bobbin or do you have a bobbin that you wound yourself? Change the bobbin. So put a whole different new bobbin in. So the one you've been having a problem with, take it out, set it off to the side, wind a whole new bobbin. Okay, and unfortunately, you should have been winding a new bobbin. If you're using bobbins that you wound yourself, you should have wound that before threading the machine, but find another bobbin that's wound and put it in the machine and make sure that you're installing your bobbin correctly because bobbins have to be put in a certain way. People don't usually realize that those 2 points, the thread being threaded correctly, the bobbin being inserted correctly, all of that plays a huge factor in your tension before you start moving your bobbin tension or your embroidery tension dials. Okay, so definitely check those 3 things: your top thread, threading your needle, new needle, and your bobbin thread, and make sure everything is threaded correctly. Beyond that, if you're still having issues, then we'll move to stabilizer. We'll move to making sure that where your bobbin goes in is cleaned out. There's no dirt or gunk or anything there. And we would also work at making sure that your thread path is clear when you're threading the machine from the top. Um, then if none of that matters, then we'll start looking at your tension and your tension dials and possibly the tension spring on your bobbin. But I generally don't touch that till the very possibly last maybe possible thing, and even then I really don't like to touch the tension on that bobbin. Okay, so there's quite a few things, but again, not really knowing what machine you have, Haley, it makes it a little more difficult to but being that you're saying setting 0 9 times out of 10 it's the single needle, one of those single needle home type embroidery machines, not like the larger multi-needle. um and those are some tips that I would give first and foremost on that. Let's see. Details. Okay, so sorry, group of them. Okay. The painted ladies, you are sacrificing a lot for your business. Thank you very much. And most of us do. Most of us do. Um, but I would prefer there's blessings and sacrifices, I guess, and that's pretty much where we go with that. Marge Campbell, Haley Storm, are you getting the bobbin threaded into the case properly? Another thing is the top thread catching on something, usually a rough spot on the comb for me, which would be the other reason why I would suggest switching out the top comb for a different spool, because it could be a bad spool of thread, or it could be that, as she mentioned, there might be a little nick on that spool and something is getting caught. By switching to a different thread, a lot of times that'll help you determine, oh, it was the top spool all along and you didn't even realize it because you kept using the same one to try to fix the problem when the problem was the spool of thread. So yes, that would be the reason why I suggest to switch the thread when you're having issues. Jandamar Parsons, hello, how are you? Welcome. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate that. Um, I followed the step-by-step instructions in the manual, so my best guess is it is threaded correctly. Okay, no worries. Just make sure that your presser foot is up when you thread it. Aiden Carter, what is the best stabilizer to use when embroidering on a tablecloth? What I would suggest, first of all, Arden, not Aiden. Arden, your stabilizer would, mm, that depends on how thin it is. How thin is that tablecloth? How see-through is it? If it's not super see-through and it's not super thin, you can use a cutaway. Cutaway would probably be the better option because our tablecloths get washed and that'll hold up longer. But ultimately, you want to look at the density of the design that's going on that tablecloth. If it's pretty heavy, a lot of stitches, then you definitely want to use a cutaway stabilizer of like a medium weight to make sure that it can hold and support all of those stitches. But if it's a light, like red work or a design with a bunch of lines, not anything super heavy, you possibly could get away with a tearaway. I generally wouldn't suggest a tearaway with a tablecloth. I would suggest cutaway, but some people don't like the look of cutaway cut out on the back of a tablecloth as it's laid out on the table. So that's going to be a personal call on that. But if it's not a super light, airy design, then I would definitely go with cutaway. And if the heavier the design, the heavier your more stabilization you need, and it should be a cutaway. Um, let's see. Doesn't seem to catch. It seems to be a consistent issue in my designs. It doesn't seem to catch. It seems to sound like you might have a timing issue, Miss Haley. Not so much the tension. Hello, Teresa Jackson. How are you? Sorry, she's saying it doesn't seem to catch. That sounds timing to me. But what type machine is it, please? Let me know. Tamika Brown, I have an embroidery machine and embroidery thread and have no clue as to how to use it. Tamika, we have quite a few beginner videos here. Now we're going to endeavor more on extreme beginners, like opening the box type situation and starting fresh. That's coming down the pipes, but we do have some beginner videos here on this channel. Kathleen Thompson, hello, how are you? Miss Bickham, she says while she had her storefront, she would post it a month in advance so that they would have time to bring their items in to be completed before vacation. If not, there will be no work done until we return. Yes, I understand that. Thank you, Teresa. I appreciate it. MH Diamond Artworks, hello. How are you doing today? Welcome. What software program can I use to help me get started? Something simple that's not costly, or is there a free software I can start off with? Tamika, in most instances, there's a couple of free softwares. It's free, like demo versions that you can use of a lot of different software. What are you trying to accomplish? If you're wanting to just edit some designs, like go purchase some designs and add a name at the bottom or remove parts of a design, then Sew Up Pro is an excellent embroidery editing program that you can use. I suggest Sew Up Pro because a lot of the other software programs out there are well over $100, if not close to $200 and up. Okay, so what you're looking to do, if it's just lettering, there's some free things out there. I think there's one called True Sizer that you could do that's free for lettering. But if you want to do a whole lot more than just putting letters together, Sew It Pro is an excellent program. And my website right here, thebabiesbooty.com, you can click there and download the demo version. And it is 30-day trial, if I'm remembering correctly. I also have a video on this channel on how to use the demo version to your fullest advantage to see how to work and play around with it. So you can do that. And then if you decide it's for you, you do have the option as well on my website to purchase the license to or the registration key to the program. And as soon as I get the notification from PayPal, as long as I'm not asleep like 3 o'clock in the morning or something like that, then I'll generate the code from the main website or the main parent company, and that email will shoot over to you with the registration code to unlock the software. Sew It Pro is an excellent program. It's not for digitizing. Okay, so if Tamika, if you're looking to get into, say, you have this picture of your kids drawing and you want to digitize it so that you can embroider their drawing, that's not the program. So what Pro is not for that. So Art is. It's a digitizing program. But a lot of the digitizing programs are well over a few $100s, whereas So Art is $75 and it's an auto digitizer. So there's a couple of options out there, but all of that is in that list under So What Pro on my website, and you can check them out. And all of them have trial versions. M8 says, I like your video about the Make the Cut and Cricut design space. I appreciate that. Unfortunately, not sure what's going on with Make the Cut. They don't offer the software anymore, and I've been trying to contact them on that. Um, but there's also a program called Cuts a lot that can do pretty much the same thing. I don't use Cuts a lot, even though I guess I'm gonna have to learn how to use it now. But Make the Cut, their website is down. It's been down for a while, and I don't know what's going on with that. So but it is awesome being able to cut out rhinestone designs. Latanya Roberts, you're planning to buy a 6-needle brother embroidery machine and been watching the videos to get information. I appreciate all the help. You're welcome. I appreciate you checking us out and watching the videos, taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us. Thank you. Heather says, how can I make an underlay under the design I have from tattered stitches? I'm using it on dark blue. When you're speaking of underlay, do you mean like a tack down stitch that you can use to put on a towel? Is that what you're trying to accomplish? If so, you can purchase tack down designs. Like, for instance, Designs by Juju offers a nap tack or tack down stitch that you can purchase in certain shapes. Or So What Pro does have the option of adding a uh, nap tack down stitch, or either a tack down, whichever way you want to call it. They offer a pile knockdown stitch as well, if that's what you're talking about. And if you're using it on dark blue, then it would be advisable to use like a dark blue thread so that it's invisible behind, it's somewhat invisible behind the stitching, and then your regular embroidery on top of it. Let's see, Harmony Ling just ordered from Metro EMB for the first time. The thread prices are unbelievable. I ordered so many spools to test them out. I hope I love them. You should love them, Harmony. For the most part, I haven't had anyone complaining about their thread yet. Most people love their prices. If you've had anyone in here, if you've had any issues with their thread, let us know. But for the most part, when folks get Metro EMB, I know it stitches gorgeous for me. So I don't think you will have any issues. But let us know if you do. They're very good with their customer service. Cynthia Robinson, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Divine Creations, hello, welcome. It's a lot of new folks in here. Thank you for joining us. And here on this channel, you do have the option of either joining us in our hoop group at thebabiesbooty.com. You can go to our website and click become a member or join, and we'll get you right in if you would like to. We also have a Facebook group if you're interested. So go on Facebook and join Hoop Group. Or here on YouTube, we also have a membership that's available where you can offer support to the channel. And if you join as a member, no matter what level you join as, you can get a free bell. So just shoot us an email once you join up as a member. Email me at thebabiesbooty@gmail.com and we'll get a bell right out to you. But you got to email me your name, your YouTube name, and your mailing address so that we can get a bell out to you once you become a member. So those are 3 options I want to make sure to keep in front of you guys and let you know it's available. Dixie Champagne, I knew what Naugahyde was, but I didn't know why it was coming off. I guess that's what I was asking. Let's see. Any orders brought in after XYZ date would not be worked until I return on XYZ date with no exceptions. And that's the thing, like Dixie says, firm but fair. And you would think, but some folks would pitch a fit and I would fall for it every time. So it's we have to determine what's best for our businesses, but ultimately you are your business. So you have to put yourself first in most instances, because if you keep going, keep going, keep going and burn yourself out, if you keep giving in and working straight through and taking on extra without those breaks that we need for our mental and emotional health, then what good is the business if you're not able to run it? So instead of being down for your break, which could be 3, 4, 5, 7 days, now you're down for weeks because you're putting yourself in hospital, you're making yourself sick, blah, 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 blah. So those breaks are important, and it is awesome to be able to say, look, I'm going on vacation. So if you have an order that you think you need done, then you need to get it by this time. If not, I can refer you to somebody. And most instances, folks are like, no, it's okay. I'll wait. It's funny how that works. Whereas at first they're like, I need it now, I need it now. Well, guess what? I can refer you out. It's no worries. Give this person a call. And usually what I found, they'll call that person, and that if they call that person, they're more expensive. And then they're like, oh, and then they come back after break. So yeah. um what's the difference between So What Pro and So Art? Laura Dixon. So What Pro is an embroidery editing program. So What Pro is for designs that are already out there that you may purchase from websites that you may want to, whether it's change colors on, whether it's add names to, or combine two embroidery designs, stuff like that. It's for editing designs. But So Art is a program that will allow you to digitize an embroidery design. So say for instance, you have a logo, a business logo that you want to embroider yourself. Well, you can take the image of your logo, put it in So Art, and So Art will auto digitize your logo. So that's how that's what the difference is. So Art is for digitizing, that's it. It's for creating embroidery designs, whereas So What Pro is for designs that are already there. So put it this way, if you have a logo that you want to embroider and create an embroidery design out of, you would create that design in So Art. But once you're done creating the design, if you need to edit it, you can edit it in So What Pro. That's the difference between the two. For greenhorns like me, she says, welcome. Carol Coleman, hey, how are you? Welcome. I hope you're doing okay. I meant to call you the other day as well. I definitely need to get up with you. Marge Campbell says, Eve suggested a new needle. I'll add that you want to make sure it's in correctly. There's a long groove down the front of the needle, and there's a cave in, like a concave part in the back of the needle, so that you'll know what's the front and the back. But usually with those single needle home machines, the back of the needle at the very top that goes up in the machine, the back is flat usually. Denise Burke, when I split my design using So What Pro, you can still see where it was split after embroidering the design. If you're talking about the repositional hoop, you will have to, after you split it, bump it together just a little bit. Let it overlap just a little bit. So you'll have to bump one design over this way and then the other split side over this way just a little bit, and it'll stitch together like it's supposed to. When So What demo days are over and you have paid for So What Pro, does the program automatically turn on, or do you have to register the code? So Laverne Miller, when your demo is over, when you go to open it, it'll ask you, do you want to unlock the software, or it'll shut the software down. You just tell it to unlock it with your code. And you should have been emailed a registration code, and you want to copy and paste your name, because when the way to register the program to unlock it is you have to put in your name, and you have to the name that purchased the product. So I'm gonna tell you from experience. When I very first purchased So What Pro, I used my husband's PayPal account. So my Sew It Pro is registered in his name because his PayPal account paid for it. So keep that in mind. If you have to use someone else's PayPal account, it will be registered in that person's name, no exceptions. Right? And that's not from me, that's from the top. So you will get an email to whatever PayPal email address you have registered with PayPal with your name and the registration code to unlock that software. You have to do that. That's not someone else. They'll send you the code, but you have to actually physically unlock it. Let's see. Marsh Campbell, I really like Sew It Pro for adjusting embroidery designs. Not that enamored with Sew Art, but haven't taken the time to really work with it. Sew Art is auto digitizing, and Clever Dog Designs here on YouTube. She has excellent step-by-step videos showing how to use Sew Art to the fullest potential. So definitely check her out, and she'll help you out with that. Tamika Brown, you're welcome. Heather says I have the Juju designs, but they're all stipple stitching, so it's lightweight. So stipple stitching, you should be okay with tearaway. Um, I think that's what you're asking, Heather. I'll have to go back and check. She says she has the stipple designs. I want to make sure. Oh, how can I make underlay design under the design I have from Tattered Stitches using dark blue stipple design? So you're putting these on towels and they're not tight enough. So yes, you will need to do, does Designs by Juju have? I think Designs by Juju sells, tack down, knock down stitches in a shape. You may want to check that out since you already have Designs by, oh, I hear what you're saying. They are not tight enough. The ones from Designs by Juju. Okay. So that being the case, Sew It Pro does have it where you can add that behind it, or if you know someone who digitizes, they can make one for you as well. But who else has knockdown stitching for sale? I can't think right off the top of my head on that one. But Sew It Pro can put that knockdown stitch behind it for you. Laverne Miller says, when taking orders, I work on a 2-week or 1-month timetable, depending upon what the order is. But my last order of 100 face masks, I will be hopefully finished in 6 weeks. You have to pace yourself, my dear, and I'm not mad at that. I offer customers a certain turnaround time, but a lot of them don't want me to stick to it. They ask for it faster. Sometimes I'm okay and don't mind accommodating that. But in most instances, I need to take my time to get stuff done because I have so much else that I do as well. So, Denise Burke, how can you tell if an applique has tack down stitch before purchasing it? You're not going to be able to tell if they don't offer you a way to see what the breakdown of the design is. Some folks, which is very rare, that some people will show you what, if you click the design, some of them will show you thread stops and stuff like that. I know Embroidery Library has a thing where you can click on it and get more information about the color stops and the files and stuff. Some folks can do that, most people don't. And unfortunately, there's really not a way. I mean, and even then, applique, tack down stitch. What you can do, Denise, a inside tip of what you can do, if you purchase an applique design and they don't have a tack down stitch, they have a placement stitch, and then it goes straight to doing the um, satin stitching, then back the embroidery machine up one color stop. So do your placement stitch, and then once it stops, if you know it's going to start doing the satin stitch right afterward, back it up one color stop and use the same placement stitch as your tack down stitch. And then once you know where to put the fabric, place your fabric down, let it repeat that, and stop the machine. That's your tack. Now you've created your own tack down stitch, trim around it, and then let it go forward from there with your satin stitch. Hello, lovely beauty 24. How are you? Dixie Champagnes is just old. I got over here from a Hot Fix Crystal video. No worries. Hot Fix Crystal, we love bling around here. Nakomi Butler, how are you? Welcome. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Lisa Donnelly, yes. How are you, my dear? Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Laverne Miller, I used to be that person. If you call me tonight, be forever. I would say yes and rush, but not no more, not anymore. I understand, Laverne Miller. Ooh, I feel your pain on that, girl. Denise Burke, you're welcome. You're welcome. To accomplish this, do I use the move function on the machine to accomplish? Hang on, I'm gonna have to scroll back up and see when I split my design. Yes, you will use your move function on the machine. That is correct. That is correct. So when you go into your menu, there's a way to bump the design over. And so just tap it like 2 or 3 times to nudge it over. And then that's the first, because you're splitting the design, right? Actually, no, you do it in Sewit Pro. So once you split it, right? So you've done your repositional, you selected the repositional hoop and it split it for you. Then what you can do is get whatever's in this side and no, I'm lying. Yeah, you bump it over with the machine. My bad. It's been a while since I've had to use the repositional hoop, can you tell? And I really need to do an updated video on that because it is a pain when you stitch it out separate like that. It does leave a little itty bitty gap, not much, but it's very noticeable. So once you put it on, before you stitch it out, bump it over whatever orientation it is. So if you're doing this one first, then make sure you bump it over this way. If you're doing this one first, bump it this way. So 1, 2, and then stitch it out, and then do this one and bump it over 1, 2, and stitch it out. And it should overlap. Make sure you do a test stitch out first, though. Don't stitch it on what you need to put it on first. April Hall, it will be cutaway stabilizer. Cutaway stabilizer, and depending upon the heaviness of the embroidery design, if it's a lot of stitches on a polo shirt, then you want to use a medium cutaway, a little bit thicker of a stabilizer. Or some people will use 2 pieces of mesh, but I say a medium weight stabilizer. It just looks better. Laverne Miller, you're welcome. Please, when you go into your email, do a search and search for So What Pro, and hopefully it'll pull it up for you. If not, just email me, and if you purchased it from my website, I can resend you the code. Kathleen Thompson set up my new to me machine today, brother, and if it's 4000D, yet to use it but loving it, well, guess what that means? That means a bell ring. Congratulations, Kathleen. Yes, that's what's up. Again, sorry for the kind of weak bell ring. My daughter's asleep. So I appreciate it. But thank you for letting us know, Miss Kathleen. And please be sure to join the Hoop Group if you're not already. Post pictures of the projects that you've been working on. And you guys, it's going on 11 o'clock. Let me just check and make sure that I don't have too many other creations. Marge Campbell used Fancy Works by Pentagrams, older software to digitize, nothing automatic about it. That's what's up. See, some folks don't understand the first thing or the second about digitizing. So a lot of times the Sew Art helps because it's an auto digitizer. Mandy Smith, welcome. We appreciate you joining us again. Trisha, Tello, I had the red line 1501 and bought the clamp for embroidering stockings. Any tips and stabilizer? The cuff on some are velvet or fleece. They're from Walmart. So stabilizer, cut away. I mean, you might could get away with tear away, but to be sure that they stay nice and cute and nothing shifts and tears and changes on you, I would use a cutaway stabilizer. Um, and that way you get a nice, clean, very stable stitch out. Miss Social Dev, that old saying, give an inch, people take a mile. Yes, they will. Heather Butler, been seeing y'all just been sewing. Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us and thank you for being a YouTube Who Group member. Denise Burke, you're welcome. You're welcome. I've been watching a lot of the older videos. Love your channel. Just bought a Brother NQ1600E a week ago and having so much fun. Lovely beauty. Congratulations on your new baby. Congratulations, lovely beauty. That's what's up. What'd you name your baby? Lovely beauty? You got to name that embroidery machine. Heather says your link is not working. I can't keep getting it. Okay. So if you go to thebabiesbooty.com, click either if you're on mobile, click the menu button, but hopefully you're on your computer because that's how you'll download it. On the computer, if you look across the top, you'll see a link in the menu that says So What Pro. Just click that and it'll take you right to the page. And I apologize for that link. Sometimes the link in YouTube acts monkey, and I apologize for that. I know that you have a video on embroidering tea towels, but have you embroidered on the lightweight for sacks? Not yet, no. No, I have not. But lightweight for sacks is just about the same fabric, so it would be about the same. When you do the reposition of hoop and Silhouette Pro, can you add just a little stitch compensation to fill that area? I haven't tried. Like you might could do the pull compensation. Most people just bump it, unfortunately. That's what I've been seeing. When I did it the last time, I bumped it. I didn't mess with the pull compensation. So it's worth looking into, something to play with. And I haven't played with like I said, I haven't played with repositional hoop. So we'll definitely check that out. Thank you, Denise Burke. Embroidery Design has a 75-cent sale right now. Thank you for all your help, Andy says. So we're here. We were earlier talking about a deal on Embroidery Designs. So he says Embroidery Design has a 75-cent sale. So you guys can check that out. Or what you can do is also check out the link that I put in the chat earlier, and I'll try and link it again for Creative Fabrica. They have a great deal going on right now on embroidery designs, and there's a really cute sewing snowman patch design that I found on there that I think you guys will absolutely love. It's already a patch. It's already there, so it doesn't take much to stitch it out. And I'll go ahead and link that again so that you guys can get a hold to it. Let me see if I can't pull it up real quick because we're going on after 11 and I don't want to keep you guys too long. Let's see, snowman. There we go. Snowman patch. There we go. So I'm going to link that right now in the chat and check out their other embroidery. They have a ton of embroidery designs. It wasn't that many not that long ago, so definitely check that out. Amanda Ginty, I did my first real embroidery project on your brother. It was a hot mess. Had to stop the day I started and come back to it today, but couldn't get the placement right. Uh-oh. So definitely come over, Amanda, to the Hoop Group on Facebook and get some help with that because the SC600 is an awesome little machine and there's a lot of folks in there that have it and can help you get your project worked out. Alrighty. Let's see. Body. Oh, the body was off. I did Baby Yoda, but I don't have a program to make sure if it comes out right and the outline was not correct, even though the body was. If the outline wasn't correct, it's probably stabilization. So make sure that you have a good cutaway stabilizer behind your project when you stitch it out. All right, because outlines are very difficult to do and to get right if you don't have the right stabilizer. All right. Any tips for embroidery on handkerchiefs? Very light design work. Very, very light designs, and I suggest cutaway stabilizer. It may not look the best on the back of a handkerchief, but you can use some mesh stabilizer and light embroidery, not that super heavy embroidery, so that it doesn't pucker. And you can also spray starch it first. So if you get a good stiff spray starch and stiffen it up, that'll help it too. All right. Hey, Janet McKinney, how are you? And Gorgeous Rose, thank you. If anyone needs flock for their bling, Rhinestone World has a flash sale on a 5-foot roll of flock that comes with a fun set and 30 gross of stones. Miss Bickham says. Amanda, Sew It Pro versus Embrilliance. A lot of that depends on how much you want to invest. Okay. Sew It Pro, $65. Powerhouse program, not very many issues. Also, as long as you have Windows computer or Windows emulator on a Mac, Sew It Pro is great. Embroiderers is a good program as well. Don't get it twisted. I'm not about to knock that program, but it has a much higher investment point, and you have to purchase in levels. Whereas you purchase Sew Pro is Sew Pro. All its levels is wrapped up in one, and you have an excellent little powerhouse program. So I absolutely love Sew Pro. All right. So I enjoy. Oh, Andy, my wife and I got our machine for 3 weeks and we have gone nuts enjoying it. Thanks again because you were right. So Pro and So Art is awesome. Andy says, thank you. And you guys, I'm glad y'all enjoying y'all's machine. Trust me, embroidery is addictive and it is not hard to go bonkers, which is why I definitely suggest check out Creative Fabrica and their embroidery design deals. I'm here for you guys. If you ever want to find out who has some great deals, just holler at me, let me know, and we'll keep a list. I need to just keep a good running list on our hoop group anyway. Matter of fact, embroiderylibrary.com, one of the main ones I suggest to y'all all the time, they switched over to November, so their free design has changed for the month. So check them out too. All right. So I appreciate y'all joining me this evening. It was totally awesome. I just drove a good little bit of ways to get here to try and go live with you guys for a little while. So thank you for joining me this evening. Sorry for being so late. But that one was out of my hands. Unfortunately, I tried. So I look forward to next week. Like I said, you captains, be on the lookout for your snowman patch to come to you. And also by the end of this week, we'll have the class. No, we'll have the class date tomorrow, but it will be the end of this week for the very last So What Pro beginners class. I'm not going to do a live class again for So What Pro. All right. So there'll be 10 slots for that class. After that, that's it. That is it. And the only reason I'm doing that is because somebody begged me really, really hard to do another live class. I was like, okay, one more class. But next, Ninja Stars. So we're gonna bump up to the next level in So What Pro, and we're gonna be hacking and slashing our ninja skills in So What Pro. And I'm super excited to be dicing and slicing embroidery design. So looking forward to doing that with you guys. And all of that will come down the pipes in the next couple of days. So thank you so much for joining me this evening. I loved it as always. You guys are totally awesome. And I look forward to seeing you again next week, hopefully safe and sound. You guys stay safe out there. And until the next time I see you, I hope you have happy embroidering. You guys have a good night. Bye.